Freddie Flintoff, cricketer, hero, entertainer, and now boxer. After hanging up his cricketing gloves, the big man has decided to take on arguably the greatest challenge of his career. He's going to become a professional boxer. He's being guided, of course, by Barry McGuigan, who we'll meet shortly. But in the meantime, big man has agreed to sit down with us here at BoxNation. Freddie, when did you first realise that you were a competitor?
I think as a kid. I've got an older brother. He's about 3.5 years older. As kids, we used to play cricket in the path, which always ended in an argument. My mum and dad they bought us a snooker table for Christmas, one of them little kids ones, and you got confiscated so many times because we'd just argue all the time. We always wanted to win. And I think having an older brother, you always try and keep up. You always try and compete with him. So from a young age, I enjoyed competition and I thrived on it.
And when did you realise you could turn that competition to your advantage rather than the disadvantage that plainly it was in those days?
Yeah, I started playing cricket when I was about 6. The under-14 team was short and my brother was playing. So I played. I had a Man United tracksuit on, which was a hand-me-down from the kids across the road, the Smith family. And I just stood in the outfield crushing daisies. And I got a chance to bat and loved it. And I thought I want to play more and more of this. And then from 6, I played every week. And it was about 9 when I started playing for Lancashire under-11s. That's when a real desire to win and try and influence cricket matches started.
So your competitiveness, well, times in your career that it did get you into trouble, and we may get the opportunity to talk about that.
I got in trouble playing chess. I played chess when I was young, believe it or not. I went to this school on the estate and met a teacher who loved chess. And he had all these rough kids coming in playing chess at lunchtime. And my brother played for England, and I played a few games for Lancashire. And one game I got shoved onto I used to play like board 20 odd, which was one of the low ones. But then one day I was playing against this best player from Staffordshire, and I was like a sacrificial lamb. But he was timed, and you press a button and his clock starts.
Yeah.
But this kid hadn't pressed his button. So I watched him for 45 minutes and his flag went down. So he'd lost because he'd run out of time, and he started crying in the sports hall. And I got holding in front of the chess authorities for gamesmanship at under-11s chess or something. So from that age, I always wanted to win.
But eventually then you get to a situation whereby you can pursue, if you like, your sporting ambitions through the ambition, the competitive that you've got. It's now working to your advantage more.
What, as in the competitive nature? Yeah, I think so. I think from a young age probably where I went to at school, it was competitive, not in the classroom, but I played football and I always wanted to win. And I suppose because I played cricket, I was deemed different on the estate and on the school I went to. So there was always that competitiveness to be the best I can, to almost stick 2 fingers up to the kids who used to give me a hard time for playing cricket, because that's all I wanted to do. It was deemed to be played by the posh kids. So there was always that extra incentive. I suppose playing cricket was a way of not nicking cars like the other kids and hanging around street corners. This was my way of doing something pretty good.
Were you good because you had talent or because you were big?
Probably in the early days, I had a bit of talent, but I was big. I was playing senior cricket from 10, 11 because I was the size of me. I could carry it off. And then talent-wise, it went like that. I'd make progress, and then I'd do nothing for a while, and it was always like, my career in general was like that. It was always up and down. It was never boring. And contrary to popular belief, I used to work pretty hard at it. It didn't come natural. I always gave that air of, I don't work hard, I don't train, which is almost trying to get one over on the opposition. But behind the scenes, maybe not my early 20s, but after that, I used to work really hard.
Why'd you say contrary to popular opinion?
I always wanted to give this air of I wasn't bothered. I wanted people to turn up thinking that you can't really fluster me on the cricket field. It doesn't really matter, but deep down it really did. It was just my way, I suppose, of coping with that, coping with nerves, coping with various things.
Was it only cricket you were good at?
Yeah, and chess. No, it was only cricket I wanted to play. I played football. That was so I didn't get beat up at school. It was more for acceptance. I played a couple of games for Preston boys. I got offered to go for trials at Blackburn. That was dreadful. And I knew I was. Again, I was big and I was quite quick in them days. I used to play centre half. I could head it and I could kick it with no skill whatsoever. And all I wanted to do was play cricket. Every night of the week as a kid, it was cricket. And that was born through my dad and watching him play, just local league stuff. And that's what I ever wanted to do. And when I was 15, I realised you can get paid for it as well, which made it even sweeter.
Well, I was just going to say, where was the breakthrough? When was there acceptance from those that would give you a hard time?
Well, the last years of school, 2 years of school, I didn't really go that much because I was embroiled in the Lancashire system. I was playing senior cricket in the reserves for Lancashire from 15. And, you know, I was earning a few bob, so I had a bit of money at the tuck shop when I was at school. And it was going well. And I realised you can get paid for this. I didn't realise that Ian Botham and Graham Gooch and these guys I watched on the telly got money. I just thought you played cricket because you enjoyed it. And when I realised you make a living out of it, I thought, hang on, I'm going to have a crack at this. Never mind school and college and things. I want to join Lancashire and I want to play this every day.
Who were your heroes?
For me, it was always cricketers. Botham, obviously all-rounder. Played cricket against his son at an early age, and I met him when I was about 13 or 14, got his autograph. And now the weird thing with Beefy is he's a mate. I go out with him for dinner or a pint. I'm still texting my mate saying I'm out with Ian Botham. Tendulkar was another I played against. He's not much older than me. But when I played against him, I wanted to get him out, bowling at him, but I wanted to impress him. You know, you hold him in such high regard. And then boxing, I used to love Tyson. I used to love watching Tyson fight. Barry himself, who I'm working with now, which is a dream. And then Elvis.
Elvis?
I worked behind the record counter at Woolworths when I left school. I signed a contract with Lancashire, but I didn't get paid till the following April. And I wanted to go to Australia and play cricket, but I was 16. My mum said, "You're not going, you're not old enough, get a job." So I got a job behind the record counter in Woolworths, Preston. And Elvis's Essential Collection came out. And it was played on a loop, and at first it was like, what's this? And after a while, I loved it. Love Elvis.
And do tell me, if you're out with both of them, you have more than a pint.
I've had some fun nights with Beefy, around the world. He's taught me a few things off the field as well as on it. But Beefy's great. His passion for cricket's still there. You know, he works on the commentary and he loves it, genuinely loves it.
Were there comparisons between you and him? And you were supposed to be the replacement for a long time, weren't you? Was that a difficult cross to bear from your point of view?
I think it would have been difficult if you'd have believed it. I think any young all-rounder coming into the side, whether it was the late Ben Holyoke, Chris Lewis before him, was always wanted to be the next Ian Botham. I could not fill that void. There's never going to be another Botham. I had to play my own brand of cricket, make my own name. His people were very different. We used to work with the same physio, Dave Roberts-Rooster, and he's seen us day in, day out, and there's a massive difference in personality and character. So I never tried to live up to that. I just wanted to score runs and take wickets and win games. Did
you always know when a delivery was a good one, or when you caught a delivery, that it was heading for six?
Yeah, if you hit it, yeah, you had a good idea. But then the worst point is, you know, if you didn't catch it right, you're going to be out. And in some ways, you know, some of the shots I played to get out weren't the best. Some of my decision making wasn't the best. I could get carried away with the crowd. If the crowd started cheering and shouting, I wasn't a player who could not hear it. I heard every word, and you try to play it up to it and enjoy it. I sometimes came undone by doing that, but yeah, you know.
I suppose why I'm asking is because you've got an opportunity now to continue your sporting career.
Are you questioning my decision?
Yes, but also you're going to have to make decisions, aren't you?
Yeah.
In the ring now. Are you able to?
Well, that's what I'm learning. So far, it's been a hard road. It's probably been the toughest thing I've ever done. I'm in the best possible hands, though. I'm working with Barry and Shane McGuigan, and I'm drawing on their experience and drawing on their knowledge. It's not like the cricket where, as a kid, I started from this tall playing, and I've got a lot of experience within it. With this, I'm asking a lot of questions and drawing on their experience. And the more times I go in the ring or the more sparring sessions I do, the decisions become better. Obviously I'm learning, but I'm going to be banking on my decision making, banking on my instincts once I'm out there.
So it was interesting you mentioned that Tyson was one of your sporting greats. Deep inside you, was there always a desire to do this?
I think there's a desire in most men, isn't there? Who like sport, who watch boxing, and I think a lot of blokes fancy themselves to have a go in the ring. And the one thing I like about it is because it is outside my comfort zone, it is a challenge. And that's one of the things I'm really enjoying about it. I really am. And I never thought once I stopped playing cricket I'd get the chance to get into sport again. I didn't think it'd be boxing neither. And to get the chance to work with Barry for me was just an opportunity I can't turn.
Do you need the adrenaline?
Need it, possibly too strong. I enjoy it. There'll come a time when I get a bit older and I'm not going to have it. I have to play golf more, or I revert back to chess, I don't know. But I enjoy it, I really do.
But they say that's the biggest difficulty for a sportsman who's played at the highest level, to finish.
I think it was
to replicate what they went through. Do you agree?
The age I finished at, I think. Because I was 31 when I played my last game. It was for England and my last game of cricket. I wasn't quite ready to stop then. I thought I'd have a few more years. I wanted to play for Lancashire. The plan was I wanted to go back and captain Lancashire and give them something back, because they've been so good to me through a career, but I wasn't able to do that. And then this came around at 34 and I still think I'm young enough to have a go. There's going to come a point when I get a bit older and I'm going to have to stop doing this. I have to find something else which will satisfy that need or that want to do something, but I'm not ready to do that at this stage. I'm not ready to sit in a commentary box and talk about cricket and talk about Kevin Peterson's flick off his legs and Stephen Finn knocking someone's middle stump out.
Depression, you did a documentary on at one point. What came first for you? Replacing the adrenaline that you no longer could find, or was the depression partly to blame for the fact that you'd lost the competitiveness?
Well, it was a strange one, because I was never diagnosed with depression, and I spent a lot of time with Steve Harmison, who struggled, Marcus Trescothick, who I didn't know, read things like Ricky Hatton and spoke to Ricky. And it was more retrospective, looking back at my career, and when people was explaining the symptoms, whether it was in sport or outside, I was thinking, hang on a minute, I felt like that from time to time. That'll explain why, I didn't want to get out of bed, or I was laid on the floor, or I was really low. And when I did the documentary, I didn't expect to give so much away about myself, but then I was speaking to the likes of Steve and Ricky, and I was compelled to. I couldn't not speak about my experience and how I felt. And that helped me probably post-career. However, I don't think it's so much sport or in general. When you stop doing something you've done for so long, you can be lost. And I got a little bit lost after the cricket. Whilst I was in this routine of practicing and playing and being told what to do, I rebelled against it from time to time. But when it's gone, you miss it. And that's one of the things I'm enjoying now, getting up and getting out a few lazy habits. And it's easy to walk the dog down the pub every night and have a couple of pints, where now you get up every day with a purpose, working towards something. And then in the future, whether it's boxing or whatever it may be afterwards, this has given me, I've learned quite a few things about myself as well, outside the ring.
Well, that's fascinating. And Barry McGuigan, of course, is the man who's made all this possible for Freddie in the ring, and we'll be joined by Barry after the break.